prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, we're back, and I gotta do something I really didn't want to do. I gotta admit, Hunter was right. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
I've been better.
Hey.
I hate admitting I'm wrong.
We were wrong, yeah, for sure.
And of course, back with us to gloat, I'm sure. Hunter, how you doing, brother?
Just another average week of being right. Feels pretty good. I'm glad they're taking notes from me. Really giving the fans what they want, I guess. So, yeah, I do pretty well, actually.
Oh, so we have you to thank. That's.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm taking full credit.
There is a writer's strike. It must have been Hunter.
They had to. I'm all they got.
There's an everything strike right now.
Yes.
This is the year of the strike. But yeah, I mean, I won't waste time here. Thrawn's here.
And yeah, it happened so fast.
I guess I didn't even have to say, "Oh, I'm just gonna get right to it." I think we were like 8 minutes into the episode, and there's Thrawn. I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I thought they were gonna go back to Ahsoka for the rest and maybe have him show up in the end as another cliffhanger, but no.
So they kind of did. They kind of did do what I said. I said this next episode was going to focus on Sabine.
Oh, true.
Which it did.
Yep.
But I still didn't think we were going to see Thrawn or Ezra.
We got both.
Yeah, both.
Well, first thing, I guess, before we get to that, because that's going to take over the entire episode. Hu Yang doing the entire meta conversation with Ahsoka, I thought was really fun. It definitely felt like fan service, but it didn't really I don't know, rub me the wrong way at all. I liked it. I see a lot of people joking about Hu Yang being the one that writes all the crawls, which I think is funny.
Huh.
I only have one issue with it. Is that they're telling this story in that galaxy, and we're meant to think that this story is from that, but it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So I guess maybe this is like our mythology right here. And
yeah,
that is their mythology there. So it just kind of makes that jump along the way.
Sure. Definitely take it that way. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess that's kind of fun.
So you think the story would be talking about Earth? Is that what you're saying?
No. This other galaxy.
No. Okay.
So
okay.
We here got this story a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and we're talking about them. And then they have this story a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and they're talking about that stuff in that galaxy.
Yeah.
So it's just
okay.
I don't want to say multiverse type thing, but kind of.
Well,
I get it, sort of.
Here, I looked at this as kind of like this could be taken in a way like everything that we've had to do up until this point has been setting up the story. And now, in Star Wars tradition, here we are, a long time ago. This is where the story really gets going.
Oh, this is where they begin to set things right.
Yeah, kind of.
Did you notice when he was talking about the parts of the story, he was like, part one is the best?
Oh, yeah, Ahsoka said that, yeah.
Did Ahsoka say it?
Yeah,
I
she
think
said.
it's so funny because I saw people saying part one is like the prequel trilogy, part two is the original trilogy, part three is sequel.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even think about that.
And yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ahsoka that said to Hu Yang, like, I like part one the best.
Yeah, which is so on brand because that's like her part. I don't know. It felt so.
I didn't even
incredibly
think of
meta.
that. But yeah, that is okay. This
Pretty
whole
funny.
interaction just got better.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I think there's a lot of that to this. I mean,
There's a lot of depth to it, and Dave Filoni's also trolling.
yes.
Yes, yes. I could see if Rosario is a massive Star Wars fan. I think she is a pretty big Star Wars fan, but like massive, I could see that almost being an ad lib, just kind of thrown in there during it because it works really well.
I don't know if she's a massive Star Wars fan with the way her interviews were going. Like it kind of
Yeah,
seemed like
I would
she was
say
a
Star Wars fan.
It seemed
Yeah.
like she was a Star Wars fan because, you know, she's in cinema, so you study these important times in cinema. But it seemed like
Yeah.
once she got into this role and started doing the research, she became more of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like a lot of people are like that are in Star Wars.
I find
At least
that a
in
lot of
general.
people that actually take the time and go back and like watch the Clone Wars end up being super, super happy with Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
So and this show is definitely carrying on that tradition. It's got its high points and low points, but I mean the low points are still like, wow, this is still entertaining as hell.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about this show. Like I'm complaining about it passionately sometimes, but it's like at least I have that passion. I feel like in Mandalorian, I didn't really have much to talk about. I was just like, this is kind of just meh.
Well, I think looking back
At least
on
the last season.
the times where I was like super pumped about the Mandalorian, I'm just like, well, that's just because that's what was the best we had at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
watching this, I'm like, no, now we're back on brand. Now we're
Ahead of brand. This feels like they really upped the bar in general. I mean, the
Well, yeah,
cinematography is constantly movie level, which is so cool. Like,
Right,
we've never gotten that.
and not only that, this is the first time where I feel like we're like truly advancing story, even though we're in a time where the story has fixed points on both sides.
Yeah.
We're advancing story. Whereas before, you always felt anchored in the fact that you had fixed points on each side. Like the Mandalorian, there was never a time where I like felt like we were breaking ground on anything.
Yeah,
was good.
I'm with you. Yeah,
It was
I get
good.
what you mean though.
But
Because
you
these are all new
realized
characters.
everything was working inside those fixed points. Whereas this one actually gets me kind of curious, like, oh, I wonder what it's going to do in the future. And it's like, oh, duh, I know what it's going to do, but but it doesn't feel that way while you're watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
watching
to
it,
me,
you have to-
I'm constantly like, who's going to make it out of this?
Right. Well, I mean,
because they could still be around. Like,
And it's funny because, you know, this could be a branch off the timeline. You know what I'm saying? Not like time travel or anything, but it could just, you know, parallel stories and stuff. You know, kind of got some of that going on too.
looking like a real DC fan.
Oh, stop it.
Hey, I'm a real DC
Marvel
fan.
does it,
Well, we've always had that, like, oh, it could be a branch off the timeline.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, stuff with this crew could be going on at the same time as, you know, Rey is ruling the universe.
yeah. You know what my ultimate dream is? They come back from this galaxy, and time worked differently there, so it's actually like 100 years later.
Oh God.
Oh,
that
like
we
Planet
get
of the
to
Apes?
actually have a future. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But like, wouldn't that
Oh,
be
dude,
so
that would
cool?
be
It's like,
messed up.
It would be.
Time works differently. It's like, okay, that's how, like, yeah, the sequel still happened, but this is 100 years later, so it doesn't matter.
So what's funny is you say that, but I'm watching the opening scene, right? Space whales
Yeah.
going through light speed here. And I don't know, to me, the light speed looked different.
It was different.
Yeah.
I mean, the light
Like
speed
they're
was
going
different
through
even
time.
on the other ship. They're obviously going way faster.
Right. Exactly.
So it's not light speed, it's light speed plus.
Yeah.
Ludicrous speed, if you will.
Yes. So what do you think of the, like, this is where the whales come to die?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whale graveyard.
Yeah, it's the
Saturn
rings
ring.
of the planet.
Yeah. I had to go back and look at that, actually, because I just did not catch that somehow.
Interesting.
But like, whoa, like, so does that mean the one that is bringing Ahsoka is going to die anyway, probably? Like, they come here to die?
I
Because
don't
that would be
know.
interesting.
It would be interesting.
Are they all gonna die?
Probably. I can see that. But real quick, before we get into the meat of the episode, I will say slightly negative. When we first got into Ahsoka in the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh man, she's going back to like mopey, sad Ahsoka. After just having that high when she was like, oh, there's something I didn't tell Hera about Sabine. I don't know if that messed with you guys at first, but I was like, oh man, please no, please no. And then she turned it around with the whole story thing.
I did notice.
That's my number one.
I did notice that, but I didn't take it as being like mopey or you know, anything like that. It was more contemplating, you know, she's just thinking about what just went down and all that. I don't know. Not
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, right after it seemed like she was fine. It was just, for me, it was like right after seeing her cheerful, happy, excited for this new thing, it was like instantly back to that. And I was like, oh, please no.
I don't know.
Right.
I haven't seen this at all in the series, like to the extent you guys have. And I think that's just a byproduct of, like, I grew older with these characters, right? You know, Doug started old with these characters, still old.
thanks.
And Hunter, you're still young. So I get it. I made that transition from young to old during this, so it makes
What are you
sense.
talking about? You were an adult when Ahsoka was introduced.
Yeah, but I was a young adult.
Oh, please.
I could do shit
Please.
and it didn't hurt in the morning.
Yeah.
That's no longer the case.
That's funny.
But that was my number one nitpick, I guess. But then they instantly switched it around. I was like, okay, wait, maybe this episode has some promise. And then boom, we get Thrawn. Just right into it. We get, okay, they get to the galaxy 2 seconds later, they're like, yep, we're getting hailed from this planet that's right next to us. And then boom, we meet like the super Night Sisters, the ultimate leaders, I guess. Have we ever heard about them before?
I actually believe so.
Yeah.
Let me look real quick.
Because it wasn't
while
like the.
And while I'm doing that, I'll also say, hey, Doug, remember, I was Hunter's age when they introduced Ahsoka.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was Ahsoka's age. So
Right,
I actually
exactly.
grew up with her.
Yeah, but you didn't get old.
It's
I made a transition into old.
oh man, being old's a mindset.
Oh, no, it's not, dude.
Yes,
You'll
it is.
find out. Doug was warning me for years.
You just gotta eat protein and work out. You'll
No,
be good.
I said the same stuff to Doug. Guess what? Doug was right. Sucks.
Okay. Look, I am old. It's not that bad. Be all right.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
transition sucks. I've been there a couple years now. I'm getting used to it.
I mean, stuff does hurt, but you know, it'll be all right.
Like for dumbass reason.
That's the thing. Yes.
It's like, what'd I do? Oh, I must have slept with my arm a little sideways. So I am now crippled
Yes.
for the next 14 days.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
The great mothers. Yeah. I don't think we knew about them.
Yeah. I
I
don't,
think there was a.
because they have the look of you know, the Night Sisters we saw in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they just looked like more culty, I guess.
I feel like Talzin said something
About like a great mother or something.
about like. I swear it was something about 3.
Oh,
Well, that's what it takes to make a coven, right?
yeah. It
Is that-
it
is
is
that what I'm
interesting.
thinking
They were
of?
just kind of there.
Is
That's
that
the
what
first-
she said?
I don't know if that's what she said, but I'm just thinking witches in general.
You know, and it's Dave Filoni. It's
Yes.
you know what? It might just be that Talzin might have said something like that, referring to like Shakespeare type stuff.
Right.
And now
Mm.
this just happens, and it feels like a connection for me
Yes.
because it might have been that the episode where they find her again and she's all by herself.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yep.
Like at least vaguely.
Vaguely. Yeah.
There might have been something with that. Because it was with Ventress, right?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
did she try to use her in some way?
Man, I don't remember in that kind of detail. I got to go back and watch Clone Wars again.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's just such a time investment, though.
It is.
I will say though, they're called the Great Mothers, right?
Yeah.
You know who else is a great mother?
Who?
Next prediction. Abeloth or Abeloth. I'm telling you. And at first I was like, oh, okay, this great mother thing, it makes sense. Sure, it's the Night Sisters. Maybe this is where Night Sisters came from, which I see some people saying, which is super interesting. But the thing Balin was talking about,
That's what I was just about to say.
I think that is straight up like that. Maybe the dark side well, that was like how Abeloth became what she was. I almost feel like that's what they're going with.
He's talking about some sort of a greater power.
Yeah, which I feel like is that like dark side well of power that Abeloth fell into. I also see people trying to say that he's trying to become the sun,
Oh,
but I don't know how he would
Abeloth
even know
ever
about
called her,
Mortis. What was that?
Is Abeloth ever called a great mother, though?
Well, she's called the mother.
Was she?
Like, there's the thought, yeah, she's the mother. So that's why I was just like, I wasn't being serious with that, but it was more so just like, oh, you know what else? Because I really think, like, at first I was like, okay, this makes sense. Night Sisters, cool. What they're loading on the Thrawn ship, I think, is like either dead Night Sisters that are going to be revived or dead stormtroopers that are going to be revived, whatever. They're more Merrick's, right?
Are they
but
gonna
then
weave her
Balin said
into-
that. I could see. I don't know. The whole.
Oh, dude, are they gonna
Balin
weave
said
her
there's
into,
new power.
Mortis? So get this. I just went to Wikipedia.
Okay.
All right. Throughout her life, she became the mother. She kept the peace between the father's warring son and daughter.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Like, holy crap. You might be onto something here.
I know. And remember, I'm writing this now, so I might just be giving you guys a sneak peek.
So we had Mortis, the father, the son, the daughter. Son and daughter ended up essentially at war. So could she be the mother who was the peacekeeper and she disappeared so that peace was deteriorating?
Yep,
Dude,
I think so.
dude.
Interesting. What's really interesting about that is how Balin plays into this, because he's very Jedi-like, but will do mean stuff when necessary. Like,
Wait a second. What year
Oh
are
yeah.
we at this thing?
Or are you saying when she was around?
Yeah, what year are we currently at in the timeline?
I think it's only like 20 years after Yavin, right? That's what they
So
use.
20 ABY?
Yeah, I think so. And this is like 40.
So
Around 40,
EU
right?
time of death for Abeloth, 44 ABY.
Yeah.
huh?
Born 100,000 BBY.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only thing I see them having to really change is they kind of make her into an eldritch god. She's more of like she doesn't feel Star Wars. She feels very much like, oh, we read a story of H.P. Lovecraft. We're gonna put that into the Star Wars. So
Yeah.
I think they are going to have to tone her down a bit if they do. But I just like the idea of them using that like well of power that Abeloth used, and that being introduced.
Oh my God, I'm being reminded of I'm like, how do I know this name? Like this one would kind of slipped from me when you said it. Uh, who awoke Abeloth?
Jason, I know. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Huh?
yeah. I know. People keep thinking they're making like edits of Dark Jason as the kid with like the Sith eyes. I think it's so funny.
So,
Holy crap, dude!
well, it's funny you mentioned how long Abeloth has been around, right? But when you think about Balin's words in this episode, what I seek is the beginning.
Yeah.
Huh.
The beginning of power, right?
It's
Kind of what
the
the well
beginning.
is.
What I seek is the beginning to end this cycle. He's talking about the cycle of good and evil going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. You may have a really interesting point here, Hunter.
Oh, dude.
And so many people are saying, no, they can't do it. They
I
can't.
know. When you scroll down this Wikipedia, I scroll down just further. Four beings in a tragedy. It's the son, the father, and the daughter from Mortis weaved into this story.
Oh, wow.
It's yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've already seen the world between worlds, and that's pretty much Mortis light, right? So it's I could see it. I could see there being some kind of access point to Mortis, and then Balin goes in, Shin goes in, Ahsoka, Sabine, Ezra, they all go in, and then they come out, and things are a lot different.
Interesting.
I'm just scrolling through this to see if there's like a former Jedi named Balin.
General Balin. I like that. Thrawn knew
Right.
exactly who he was. And oh, I cannot wait for him to research Ahsoka and find out, oh, wait, her master was Anakin Skywalker. I know everything about him.
Exactly. I was thinking the same
I can't
thing.
wait for that.
Yeah, I thought that was a little too straightforward though.
Which part?
Oh, I need who her master is or her species are.
Oh, yeah, I do think, like, I loved his dialogue, but some of it definitely felt like, okay, we need to make him sound like he does in the animation or books. Like, it didn't really super fit, but it's like, no, we need to make him Thrawn.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on, I'm still reading this thing because I'm just like curious because you brought this up. So there's this part right here. Despite her death, Luke and the Jedi were not convinced Abeloth was dead for good, and thus began searching for the planet Ortis.
Ortis?
Ortis.
Huh.
With an H?
M-O-T.
Oh, you said Mortis.
M-O-R-T-I-S.
Okay, you said Mortis. I thought I said Fortis. I was like, what?
Ortis.
Yeah, because I think the whole Abeloth stuff happened like pretty quickly after the Mortis stuff in Clone Wars did. I thought it came out pretty fast.
Luke intended to locate and obtain the same dagger used to kill the Ones decades earlier during his father's encounter with them, to ensure that if Abeloth eventually returned, the Jedi would have a way to kill her permanently. Dude!
Wow.
This is awesome. I love that you didn't know any of this. This is my rebel. I do hope they change how she looks though, because I always hate looking up Abeloth and seeing that. She is terrifying looking.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I don't know if we're gonna get her, but I do think we're getting like the well of power she fell in. So that's my biggest prediction.
I think you get an Abeloth reference.
That would
After
be
seeing
cool
all
too. Like,
this-
or we get a picture, like on the walls or something. Because I'm hoping Ezra knows something, right? I hope he wasn't just with these people doing nothing.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to have some sort of
Because,
insight
like, okay,
into what Balin's looking for.
yeah. And can we please discuss how the hell did Ezra make it out of there alive? Thrawn just let him go? Like, well, I can't picture how that scenario went out. I get the whole Thrawn was like, oh, he's a Jedi. If he finds a way out of here, I'll use that. But, like, I don't know. It seemed in this episode like, okay, let's just go kill Ezra. Like,
I have a feeling Thrawn wouldn't have been given much of a choice. I mean, Ezra, could release the force bubble he had, in an inconvenient time. We'll just say that. I don't know. Something.
oh, like when they were in space?
Yeah, I mean, because, all the
Yeah,
windows were
what
blown
about
out of
after
the...
that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was keeping them alive. So, basically, Thrawn was reliant upon Ezra at that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I do. I I do think it's funny that the only time Thrawn's been beaten is with like magic stuff, and he's always like he hasn't really studied that before, but now he's like, "Yep, thank you, great mothers, and
Right.
I have to use your dark magic again." He's
Right.
like he learned from his mistake.
yeah, exactly. Although I will
So
say,
that was cool to see.
the Chimera still looks pretty beat up, doesn't it?
It looks beat up, but man, does it look good in live action.
Yes.
The whole like I guess design, but I want to call it like a tattoo on it because it kind of looks like a tattoo on the bottom of it.
Right.
So good.
I love the people
But,
asking right now that, so you see the Stormtrooper armor of all the Stormtroopers on there, it's all beat up, cracked, all that.
Eddie Van Halen guitar looking armor. Yeah.
So they're on a Night Sister homeworld, right?
Oh, they're all dead.
They're all Death Troopers. They're all dead.
It could be.
Yeah, they were called Night Troopers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh man, We're getting everything we talked about.
Oh boy.
We're getting everything.
Huh.
No, I do
I
think
saw that.
what
I was
they're
like, no, they're not
transporting,
Death
though-
Troopers. No, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. I do think what they're transporting could turn into that though,
So
because they looks like graves.
that is one thing I was curious about at the end of the show, like the end of the episode. It's like, what are they loading up? What's going to take 3 days to load up? Yeah.
And what do they have to be that careful with? I think it's Night Sisters. I think they're on like the Night Sister home planet, maybe, or they were like banished here or something. I really like the idea that Night Sisters are just the Force users from this galaxy. It's like a different culture using the Force.
Right.
That's kind of how I took it. I also like that they have that animosity towards the Jedi, almost like they're just an opposite of them.
That's, I gotta say, you know, as they entered this atmosphere of this planet and stuff, you saw these statues and all that of like giant Night Sisters or whatever. It
Mhm.
reminded me of Rogue One and the fallen Jedi statues and all that. It's like, you gotta wonder if there's like some sort of ancient, like super ancient war that happened between these two cultures.
I can see that. And then the Jedi won and banished them to this galaxy.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Uh, Is there anything in the High Republic, Joe?
Yeah, I think it would be older than
Are
that.
there any? Yeah,
The
I just
old-
didn't know if there was any Night Sisters.
Old Tales of the Jedi comics or something. But I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
I'm thinking older than that even, you know?
Could
so
be.
far, there's not the Night Sister reference in. Wait, there was a Night Sisters and Dathomir reference, but it was quick, kind of like off the cuff.
Hmm.
Nothing. Nothing of substance.
Okay, I just thought it would have been kind of a cool thing, but no way, no way they planned that. I also think it's funny that in Jedi Survivor, the Cal Kestis stuff, he's kind of bridging. He's doing like a Romeo and Juliet with Marin, the Night Sister, and that. So they're like breaking the stigma of them hating each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like fully a couple by the end of the second game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nothing like Quinlan Voss and
Ventress, yeah,
Ventress.
yeah,
Wonder where they got that idea.
Right.
yeah. No, but it makes sense because you actually get to see like her use Night Sister magic. So it's really cool seeing a Jedi and Night Sister fight together. It's like unstoppable.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really didn't expect, like when we saw the Night Sisters, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here's the trap. Thrawn's not even here. Like he's in a different galaxy. And then they're like, yep, Thrawn will be on his way. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Because you know how I was originally saying like, oh, this is totally a trap. Like there's no way Thrawn would be able to contact them through space and time.
But he used the Night Sisters to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, something else is contacting them.
And Force Skype's getting crazy.
Right.
It leveled up.
Okay. So I'm going into this just because, you know, I kind of like passed over it last week, but I'm going down this road a little bit now just because we're talking deeper mythology and all that kind of good stuff. It wasn't lost on me and a lot of others that, you know, Ahsoka and Huyang going into the mouth of the whale. It's like, almost biblical type story, Jonah and the whale, right?
Pinocchio. Yeah.
Well, yeah, where'd Pinocchio get it from? Yeah, but so there was that, and then now with the introduction of this gold face stormtrooper guy,
Enoch.
Yeah, another biblical reference. It's like, okay, they're pulling from all kinds of lore.
And then we get Ezra.
Right?
No, but I think they even said Ezra was a biblical name, right?
It might be, yeah.
Because I saw a lot of that, and it does make sense, like, haha, we're doing that because they're getting much more, like, spiritual with the Force.
Yes. Agreed.
So I think what's to come is going to definitely go down that route. Because wasn't Enoch, like, immortal or something?
Enoch lived 365 years and was taken straight to heaven. He never died. He was just taken straight to heaven.
Okay, so that makes sense if he's like a revived Zabrak or some kind of night sister. But
I had that thought too. It's like, what is under that helmet, right? Why is it so different?
because I don't think it's a regular stormtrooper.
Exactly.
Especially, I think it's like the Great Mother's lieutenant.
The voice, right? Whatever's going on with the vocoder in that helmet or something, it's like, whoa, yeah. So Enoch was Adam's great grandson, and Noah's great grandfather. Just to put it into the timeline there, if it has any kind of spillover. Yeah, I know.
No. I just pulled up Ezra.
Yeah.
Ezra, religious leader of the Jews who returned from exile in Babylon.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Lodi really did learn from George Lucas.
Yes, that's
all biblical.
Exactly. And that's what I think the beautiful.
Get this. Hold on. It gets better.
Yeah.
Reformer who reconstituted the Jewish community on the basis of the Torah. He's a reformer too. He's going to come back and reform.
He's becoming the son.
Interesting.
Son of a bitch.
You know what's funny is you mentioned the son, right?
We're getting trolled.
You think? I don't know. But Balin tells Shin, I trained you to be more, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about Ezra and how he wasn't trained like at the Jedi Temple. He was trained afterwards and stuff. And he told Shin, I trained you to be more. We're going down the road we've gone down, and I guess we're to assume that is, he's hoping she will be the daughter then.
Oh, like take it from Ahsoka or something?
Well, I mean,
I took that more as he scarred from the Jedi, and he was saying more as in you don't have the stupid morals that Jedi have.
Really?
In the code.
I mean, if we're going as deep as we were going, I mean, you would think he would want a place for her in his grand scheme, you know?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely, I think in this episode, the most so far, I feel like we see him questioning himself in his head a lot, which I liked. Like, man, the acting is just
there's no doubt,
so good.
Yeah.
Wait,
like
you're saying Balin's questioning himself?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, he seems to have something together.
I agree, but I think
after meeting Thrawn, he kind of paused.
He did. But like, so Doug was talking, like, he says to her, I trained you to be something better. He referred to Ezra as a Bakken Jedi. Right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So a Bakken, do you know what a Bakken is? Like,
No, I figured it was like wildling pretty much. Like,
it's
yeah,
a
he didn't
wooden
have actual
sword.
proper training. Oh,
It's a Japanese wooden sword for like training. Like,
wait,
so
in like
he's a
real life?
yes,
Oh, that's weird that he used that
but
terminology then.
no, but Bakken saber has been used in Star Wars canon.
Oh,
So by calling him a Bakken Jedi, he's basically saying he's like a wooden sword. He's a dull version.
Right.
Like he seems to think he's on the right path.
That's yes. He believes he's definitely searching out what he thinks the right path is here. He's
He
looking
was
for
in
the
the temple.
power. Yeah.
He learned the best way to be a Jedi, but their path was flawed, and he found the better way. He sees everything outside of that as inferior. He was there.
I will say, I think he has his moments of doubt, though, from time to time.
I think
Yeah.
that is his ability in the Force there, premonition-wise. I think he's seeing glimpses of stuff that make him question whether he's right or not. But he can't let his newfound arrogance, he can't get around that to believe he's wrong. I think he's seeing something that is putting that into doubt for himself. But he's like, nah, that's just a possible future. So he has a moment, but he's like, no, that's just possible. It's always in motion, right?
Right.
So he's shake that off. That's just a possibility. It's we can change that.
It's possible. I mean, he does talk in vague terms, though. He talks of a great power, but doesn't give any details, not even to his apprentice, of what that power might be. Because I don't think he exactly knows yet.
I
I
am
think
curious
Hunter does.
though. Like, I am curious because like, didn't he say like, can't you hear it? It's calling to me or something.
Yeah. Can't you hear it? Can't you see it? That's when she said, I see
Yeah.
bandits.
So I'm wondering when that started, and if we're gonna see, I don't know, a flashback, but some kind of like scene where, I don't know, he got like a new goal, I guess.
So
It is very interesting.
you gotta wonder if some of this might have been planted into his head by those great mothers, Night Sisters, and along with the message to Morgan Elsbeth, these thoughts were planted into Balin's mind.
I don't think it's from the mothers, because once they figured out he used to be a Jedi, they had a like visceral reaction.
Yes, but are they, using him as a tool as well? It's hard to say.
I don't think it would be originally. I think it's definitely something else.
Okay.
So Hunter, you sent me down a wormhole, and I keep looking at all this stuff.
Yeah.
So the ones, so in canon, it's
Oh,
the father,
yeah.
the son, and daughter. But in Legends,
Yeah, the ones.
the son and the daughter were worshipped as the twin deities, or simply as the spirits in the Night Sisters religion.
Wow.
I'm down a super big rabbit hole right here as we're doing this show.
Oh man.
You're retracing
Like all this stuff leads to the coming of Avalon.
you're retracing Dave Filoni's steps as he was writing all this.
Yeah. He's like, oh, do we use that? Yeah, let's add some biblical references.
So-
yeah,
So correct me if I'm wrong. Like, so I only read a couple of these books, right? And I remember the name Avalon. Let me scroll down. Let me see if I'm right. I didn't even look at like where it was in the. Oh, the Fate of the Jedi series.
yeah.
So I only read what is it, Outcast, and like maybe two others. So maybe I didn't even get to Avalon. Maybe I saw a mention.
That's what I'm thinking happened with me too.
I don't think she shows up for a while.
Because like
When she
everything I'm
does,
seeing
it
here is
always-
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far.
When she shows up, it's always
is why I was so
you don't
blind.
know if it's real. Because it kind of seems like it's a vision. Kind of like how Mortis was. It's like ethereal, and she can like be like Freddy Krueger in your dreams and stuff.
Right.
It's wild.
Yeah, I only read like the first 2 or 3 of those. And it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
So, holy crap. You might be onto something here. I gotta
Yeah.
stop. I just
We'll-
keep
we'll
seeing
come back
little
next week
keywords
and
and I'm
talk
like,
about it.
holy crap.
Click it. Yep.
Yep, click
I know.
it, follow this. Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just a couple minutes away from when we wrap. I'm down a YouTube rabbit hole. Like I can't let that happen.
yep.
But I'll tell you what I do have is I have Outcast out there on the shelf. I'm gonna go grab that book. I'm gonna start reading that tomorrow.
I don't remember them being that good. It was more so like Avalon.
No,
just
it was
interests
actually
me.
kind of crap. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think they did get better. It was just it started off like they didn't know what they were really doing.
Yeah, so
But
yeah, I remember it not
yeah.
being that good, and I didn't really bite on the series. This is towards the end of the EU. It just wasn't
Right.
firing well.
Yeah.
So this makes sense that I missed this, but you caught it. So, huh. Curious.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta steer this though. We gotta get to Thrawn. I know we've talked about him a little bit, but we gotta talk about just the character himself. What did you guys think of Thrawn's live action debut? Did it meet your expectations?
So you know how when he shows up and he's walking and the troopers start chanting Thrawn?
Yeah.
You were chanting
Um,
with them, weren't you?
So that was the thing. I didn't actually realize they were chanting until like 10 seconds later when I stopped chanting myself. Uh,
It's like, oh, they were saying what I was saying.
Yeah.
literally, I was
I
like,
had
wait
subtitles
a second,
on,
are they
so-
saying that? Oh, I did too, but I don't know. I was freaking out. I was the opposite of seeing red.
You were seeing blue.
Yes, I was. Yes. But I love that they changed his theme slightly, but they still kept like the organs in it and kind of the same notes, but just a different like tempo and slower. I thought that was awesome. I loved how it was instant, like just you could tell every stormtrooper there, even if they are dead, just respects him. Just the presence he had. His
If they
voice
are
was
dead.
fantastic.
Nice.
Even if they are dead, yeah, I don't know, but
So-
you know,
I want to touch on that one thing you just said. You mentioned the change to his theme a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I caught onto that too, and I instantly thought about what Lars Mikkelsen said in he had to adapt Thrawn's voice for live action, right? So he
Yeah.
felt like the voice he did for animation just didn't work in live action, like it didn't seem natural. So he had to adapt it. I almost wonder if Kevin Kiner felt the same way.
Yeah, I
Like
think
he had to adapt
the
it to make it work.
Interesting.
Yeah. To me, the whole slowing of it kind of added age to it. You know, he's not as fast as he used to be.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like
That's true
it's
too.
been time passing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I took it. And like it's a slowly building up. It almost also felt like we don't know what mindset Thrawn was in. Obviously, he was still trying to get off the planet, but it almost felt like Thrawn's coming back. Like, yep, okay, here we go. It's him like waking up again. That's how I took it.
Yeah, kind of an awakening. Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you felt it?
Yeah. But and then the last thing I'll say, and then Doug will get to what you thought is physicality. It could be better,
Doug?
but
Okay, so I liked a lot of the subtle little touches, okay, of our first appearance of live action Thrawn. He's been away for a while, right? His stormtroopers look pretty disheveled. Yeah, he's pretty, keeping up on his appearances. Though when they had a close up, the very edge of his collar has got a little fray starting. Seriously, it was like,
I know.
wow.
I saw this.
Okay. I gotta be honest. What was almost more impactful to me was seeing the Chimera overseeing Thrawn, because you knew what that ship meant.
Right.
You saw the damage on it. It's like there's these two big chunks taken out of the sides of it. It's like, oh yeah, that's where some whales wrapped their tentacles around it and, yanked it through hyperspace. It's like,
yep.
And
yeah, it almost looked like it was patched together with plywood, right?
Yes.
Like it looked rough, dude.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. For me, that was almost more impactful than seeing Thrawn himself. Now, I will say, there were moments, okay? Moments when Thrawn was, he was Thrawning.
yeah.
So when he tells Enoch, have two squads of stormtroopers ready to go or whatever, and Morgan Elsbeth is like, shouldn't we send more? He takes that moment to look at her like, okay, mental note, kill her later.
Right.
Nope. It was like, oh, that's very Thrawn like right there. He's taking note right there. Yeah.
Shouldn't you send more? Wow, you're useless.
No, he had to reassess. He was like, all right, maybe I thought she was more intelligent than she actually is.
Right. Once we're back in our own galaxy, I'm done with her. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like, okay, I gotta explain what I'm doing, or else she's gonna think she knows what she's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that too. And just some of his dialogue.
Let's do this. It's Disney, man. This is Scar looking at the hyenas like, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Yeah, kind of.
Yes.
But
also, yeah. Well, you can keep going.
I was just gonna say that's pretty much my take right there. I mean,
I'm 100% with you, Doug. Like every moment that Thrawn had a moment of contemplation, like there's a pause and thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, nailed.
Right.
They're nailing this. anything he did too quickly, things like that, it was like,
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like he almost always had that kind of like, even if he knew you were right, he would like consider, am I wrong for thinking they're right too quickly?
Right.
Like, I don't want to like almost kind of arrogant. Like, well, I knew I was right, but if they're right, they might be wrong. You know, like,
Yep.
so those moments hit real hard. It's like, wow, okay. And I'll say this, while the look, I'm with Hunter, the look was lacking a little bit. And we were talking off mic a little bit, and you mentioned the like prosthetic to his forehead. Like,
Yeah.
maybe if they did a little more to define his forehead, like, you know,
Like the animated
where it,
show.
the eyebrows kind of define the nasal passages all the way up to the forehead.
Right.
If they would have done that a little better, it's there, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
Maybe they subtled it out because it's live action,
Yeah.
but that also makes him look a little more human, just
Right.
with blue skin and red eyes.
Exactly.
So maybe leaving that prosthetic there and defining that a little more would have been better. But man, when he spoke, I see why they went with him.
Oh, totally.
It just, I don't think anyone else could have delivered it like that. You would not have been able to do, I'm convinced you would not have been able to do Thrawn without voiceover.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
go get the other
Yeah,
guys they
I'm with
talked
you.
about, Benedict Cumberbatch, or, you know, my favorite guy, which was Jason Isaacs.
Right.
I think Jason Isaacs would have been perfect, like, look-wise. But I don't think his voice would have been right.
Right.
After seeing this and hearing Lars Mikkelsen, like, he's just got it.
You know who my pick was, which is really funny. Mads Mikkelsen.
Wow.
Really? So
Yeah,
Mads, though? Like, I'll tell you what,
yeah.
they might have been able to make that work if you put Mads in costume and have Lars voice it.
Yeah. I think he has a bit more of the physicality of Thrawn.
I would agree.
Yeah. Me too.
I would agree. But he doesn't have the voice.
Yep.
Lars has the voice. I
Yeah.
can't help but think of Jackie Chan in Rush Hour 2. Like, they're brothers.
I do think as well, it being the voice actor from the animated show and having him be like, "Oh, Sabine Wren, that is a familiar name."
Oh, yeah.
That made me so happy. Like, I couldn't stop smiling.
Oh, I love the
I
way
was
he
like,
delivered it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now that's a familiar name. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah. It's so good.
that was so good. Like, I couldn't have asked for much more. I mean, would I rather have Thrawn sound like Thrawn or look like Thrawn? I'm going to go with sound like, because that hit way
Yeah.
harder.
Right.
That hit
Yeah,
way
I'm
harder.
with you. And this is also he's older here. At this point, we said he's like mid to late 50s, if not 60s at this
I'd
point.
probably say 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know how long Chiss live, but I don't think it's that much longer than humans.
I mean, we don't know.
Huh.
Their canon references are limited to the Thrawn series.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. But yeah, that was good. Sabine. Oh God. I liked her once she left, but everything before just, oh, we made a deal, we made a deal. You really thought they were going to honor the deal? Like, you got so lucky that Balin ended up being a decent guy.
Okay,
I was just, I hated how she acted.
I gotta say it again. I just like I don't feel like you watched Sabine before.
I just think that was a child. That was kid Sabine.
She
How is
never
she still the same person?
she never grew up in the whole series.
That's just, I don't get it. How, like, ugh. It just feels like everyone else has had character progression and then she just has not changed.
But that was Rebels. Like,
This
seriously,
is like
Sabine-
20 years after Rebel.
I don't care. Sabine spent the whole time during Rebels continuously reverting back to her old tendencies. Like, Sabine seemed to have her shit together more in the beginning of the series than the end.
Hmm. I don't know. I thought her dialogue was super weak. And then once she was away, they had that cool like Star Wars moment where it's like, oh yep, I gotta become friends with this thing. I feel like that's becoming a thing. You become friends with this weird little alien guy.
Oh yeah, totally.
What you think of those guys?
Hilarious.
They were hilarious.
I'm
They were
with you.
cool. Very, very Star Wars like. You know.
But also different. Like this is a different galaxy, so it's not anything like what we've seen before.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool.
Oh yeah, when that rock moved, I'm like, oh, of course the rock moves.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the fact that it was like every rock around the area was those.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
My favorite
And
touch
then-
in all that and what felt the most Star Wars to me was every time they were like walking away, the Howler licked his lips.
Yep.
He's like ready to eat these things. That was the most Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I chuckled every
That's
time.
funny.
I'm like, this is Star Wars right here, man.
Heck yeah.
Like, I love those moments that remind us not to take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah,
Last
for
though.
sure. And I love that they had the rebel symbol. I thought that was clever. Instead of it just being, oh yeah, the only person you encounter knows Ezra. It's like, oh no, they probably saw the symbol and they just liked it.
The only thing that bugged me about that was that it didn't like hit Sabine immediately. That Ezra would have been the only place that they saw it.
I got a question
Yeah,
about that symbol.
It's Sabine. Yeah.
Was Sabine's armor, did it always have the Rebels symbol on it? Or did it have the Phoenix Squadron symbol on it?
Phoenix until season 4?
Something-
Oh, they did
actually
change
don't
it?
know. I think they did.
I always thought hers had the Phoenix Squadron logo on it.
So I chalk that up to she might have changed that over like during the OT time period.
Could be, even though she didn't really leave Lothal, right?
Right,
Lothal.
but I would imagine, whatever fighting she did there, she could help with the rebellion,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be something, I guess. If I cared more about Sabine, I'd go back and check. But I will say on a positive note, I thought her
Say it how you
fight
mean
scene
it.
was awesome. Her fight scene with those like Raider guys,
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
that was awesome. It was like Mandalorian but more agile and like I don't know, she like tased that dude, threw him, used him as a human shield. I was like, this is awesome. This is like actual Sabine fighting.
Right.
So I like that a lot. And I like that she used the lightsaber and she did deflect a bolt, but like it seemed very much just chance. Like she did not mean to do that. She was just cutting through a guy. And I thought that was cool. It was just kind of like a lucky deflect.
Right on.
Yeah. But that was cool.
Thing I'm
And then
looking at
we
the
get to
progression of
see.
her armor. They definitely changed it up for this series. Because the chest plate had the Phoenix Squadron logo on it before. And this just has the, like, kind of lines. No logo on the chest plate. So I'm trying to find the shoulder plates before, and I'm not seeing. That's a new one. Okay, so the old shoulder plates didn't have. Looks like didn't have a Rebel logo at all on them. It was the chest plate that did.
Huh.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Oh yeah, must have been a change for the fact that she was a general or whatever in the Alliance. Commander, whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah. Could have been during Ahsoka, doing all that stuff. Yeah, and then we get to Ezra, and I think his eyes look awesome. I like that they gave him, like, the crazy blue contacts. Because
Oh.
even in animation, it was always like dramatically blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but so I gotta say, the Ezra, like, man, you could have told me Taylor Gray was talking, and I'd have believed you.
Oh, the cadence was like the same.
Absolutely.
It was perfect. His delivery, and he's another one that obviously did his homework because his body language, like, everything about him was like late Rebels Ezra.
But with a little bit more patience
A little bit more patience, a little bit more confidence.
and humility.
Yeah.
Like, he was actually, like, I don't know, he got a little cocky near the end, I thought.
Yeah. He did.
And then, like, he's like, yeah, let's help them move. Like, they don't stay here much longer. I like that. I like that little detail.
Yeah.
Like, he's not above them. But I am expecting, I don't know, next episode to have some crazy fight soon. So we're getting, what, Ahsoka's arriving. We're getting Baylan and Shin versus Sabine and Ezra, probably.
Could be.
Which that's just, it's gonna be so good. Unless they pull some, like, Ezra's a hermit now and he doesn't fight and he's just gonna talk to them. Which I could see them doing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
I don't know. I'm
And
excited
then-
about the way they've cast this. It's unreal. I'm still upset, no Zeb, but
Yeah, me too. But
Yeah.
I
And
gotta.
now doesn't it feel like there's a chance for him to get there?
no, they completely blew that up.
Yeah.
Unless they leave, like, next episode. But I mean, this
Oh
episode
man,
did,
that
I
would
don't know if we actually
hurt
talked about
this
it.
so bad.
Yep.
It super rushed. Hey, we're in this galaxy for an episode. Now we're gone. It's like,
Like that'll just make it feel like, man, you really didn't go that far.
yeah. It's like, what was the point of going to a different galaxy?
Right.
So
I mean, Ahsoka hasn't even got there yet.
Yeah. She's gonna get there and get blown out of the sky. Which, that was another thing I liked. It was like, yeah, kill the thing with prejudice. It's like, oh man.
Yes, that was-
The Bendu really messed with Thrawn.
That was a very Thrawn like statement. Yes.
He's like, I hate these magic users. I love it. Yeah, Thrawn is from the sci-fi Star Wars. And he's very much against the fantasy parts of it.
Oh, I mean, I think the dude's just pissed off. He's been like sitting here with an entire battalion and he can't kill this one Jedi.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's hiding with
Yeah, he
the
definitely does
mini
seem more
Teenage
bitter.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like,
Yes.
And it couldn't have been that far. Sabine got there in a day.
Right.
it's Star Wars. We waited a week, so that means it's been like 3 years.
Right? That's what it feels. Oh man, like it's a whole planet. And she got there in a day? Like it didn't even seem like much time passed at all.
I know.
I don't know. Definitely, yeah, this episode felt super, super rushed.
It did. It did. But if they do that as a way to just keep the story moving and utilize all these characters, and they utilize them all well, and let's be honest, leave us hanging in a good way, it'll be worth it, and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
do
my
really need to
problem
see
is
3 days worth of travel, like.
well, just I don't know, something to make it feel like stuff matters more. Because right now it feels very much this happens, then this happens, then this happens.
I mean, I think they've done a good job in current Star Wars canon in the novels, kind of letting you know how long it takes to get to some of these places in hyperspace. So I think if you take that knowledge with you, now that would require you guys to join me in reading the new canon. But
Huh.
they do a good job of that, like saying it's this many standard days.
Yeah, it's much
Travel,
easier to do that in books, I think.
Yeah. So do it there. And the people who really care about that kind of stuff will be placated by that. Like, okay, they didn't say
That would
it,
be
but
good.
I know it takes this, so it's been this many days. Or around this many days.
Is there a chance they make a novelization of Ahsoka? That would be awesome.
I don't know. Their novels are straight up High Republic now.
Oh, like that's it?
That's all they've been doing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There hasn't been anything else. Not
For all
since
the 10 people reading it, that's wild.
I think the No, it's great. Haven't you read? Like everybody
I'll
loves
be
it.
the 11th. Everyone loves it, all 10 fans.
Everybody I am so plugged into Star Wars social media, and I don't see anyone talking about this stuff. But hey,
Yeah.
everybody loves it. And like I said before, it's really not that bad.
But that doesn't make me want to read it. It's not
I
really
understand.
that
I
bad.
understand. And I tell Doug every time the new one comes out, I'm like, why do I keep doing it? Like, it's only okay,
Yeah.
but I can't stop. So it's like Pringles, right?
Yeah.
But I guess no, it's not like Pringles because Pringles are good.
Pringles are good, yes.
This is it's not bad, but it ain't great. It's not what I expected. Like they sell it so good, then you get there and you're like, how do I put this? They do a really horrible job of leaving the most intriguing characters on the sidelines.
Interesting.
Like the first series, the first 3 books, they got better as you went. Elzar Mann was a character that it started to grow on you. And yeah, with this one, it seems like every time they get to someone interesting, they kind of like put them away for about 6 chapters. It's like, why'd you do that? You just made them interesting and then you just bail. Not Aftermath kind of bail, but they bailed for a while.
Huh.
Like it was still pertinent. You know, you didn't leave the guy who looks like Boba Fett and go to Han Solo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I totally get it.
so.
Huh.
But yeah, did we miss anything?
So I'm trying to think. I mean, I thought Shin was good this episode. I liked her questioning Balin a bit and kind of pushing back on him.
Yeah.
Those 2 characters, I'm wanting for screen time. I like them a lot. Both Balin and Shin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they are very, very well done villains.
And this is my probably hottest take ever. I think Balin's outfit is the coolest, like, live action character design, costume, whatever you want to call it, we've ever gotten in Star Wars.
Wow.
Dude, his costume's awesome.
It's great.
His costume's,
I don't know. I like episode 3 Anakin's. I don't know.
I mean, that was great to see in live action too. Or the Clone Wars Anakin in live action, I loved seeing.
I like this more. I'm so good.
Huh.
As much as I love episode 3 Anakin and you know all those guys, I'm kind of with Hunter here. Balin's got to look, man. Like I said, we did not know before this series came out and we lost Ray Stevenson. We did not know what gem we were losing.
That is true.
Because, man, I really want so much more. Balin is an even... this is going to be a hot take. I got to follow in Hunter's footsteps and make something even more outrageous.
Yeah.
Even with Thrawn being introduced in this series, Balin is the character right now that I am wanting more of the most.
I gotta agree with that. That's yes.
And I never in a million years would think that could come out of my mouth.
Right.
But Balin is the character I'm wanting more of the most.
I don't know if this is like sadistic. I don't want more of him because I know we're not going to get more of him eventually, and if we get more of him, I'll get more attached.
Right. I'm with you on that. Like,
so it's
that's my brain. But when I'm watching the show, okay, and my brain is disconnected from the reality of life because that's what Star Wars is supposed to do, is disconnect, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be able to dive into this fantasy world. I am not thinking about that at all. I'm not thinking about the real world implications of what I'm watching. I can't help but want more Balin. That character is so good and so intriguing. So, I mean, I'm with you. I know we're going to get deprived later on, but and it's just a fact of life, right? Like, you know, he's no longer with us, so we can't get more of him. And I don't know that someone else stepping into that can do what he did. Because it is straight up acting, dude.
Right.
He's just killing it. That guy was like made for Star Wars. And somehow avoided it for so long.
Yeah. Man. Only 2 episodes left?
Only 2 left.
It's so sad, ain't it?
Yes.
So this is my whole like, it's super fast pacing. Yeah, as long as they get to this, but no, there's only 2 episodes left. Slow down. Also, just this episode was like 40 minutes, with 5 minutes being the credits at the end.
Right.
Like, man, just have hour-long episodes. I hate these short episodes.
I hate that the credits are so damn long.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then the other thing is, I'm sorry, Disney Plus. Look, when I say skip recap, skip intro,
Yeah.
I don't want to get an Ahsoka title card after that. Like, don't show a little bit of the episode and then a title card. Like, I skipped the intro.
Yeah.
So just get to the damn episode. I mean, next week I'll probably watch the intro just to see, like, are we getting a title card twice? Because
Right.
what the hell am I skipping? Am I going to find out that I've been skipping like 3 minutes of an episode every week?
I don't think you have.
Have you been skipping intro too?
No,
Not every time.
You skip it every time?
Not every time.
Oh, okay. Is there a title card for each one? So a title card for the intro and then a title card after they show a little bit?
I honestly don't remember.
I never noticed it. I
Right.
feel like I'm not fully paying attention.
I think first
And
they
then
have to
it
say,
starts.
we are Disney Plus, and this is Star Wars. And now
Yeah.
for Ahsoka. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels
So
like.
is the intro just the Star Wars, like you see the helmets and
Yes.
the flashing lights? Duh,
Yes.
duh, 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 duh.
Yes.
That crap?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not actually the intro for the show. It's just the
Right. Here's
the
Star Wars.
Disney
Plus pre-roll.
Plus Star
In
Wars.
case you
intro.
weren't sure what button you clicked on, it's Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay, so they should change that
Agreed.
to skip Disney Plus pre-roll. Because you're
Yes.
still getting the intro.
Yeah. I don't know. A title card after a cold open doesn't bother me. 'Cause
No,
that's
no, no.
pretty quick.
But when you say skip intro,
Yeah.
I would assume that the intro, the introduction to the show, not this is the streaming service's pre-roll.
Right.
That's not intro to me.
Yeah.
That's the streaming service pre-roll.
Yeah. Okay. So they got to call it something different. But
I know what show I'm watching. That's why I hit skip intro.
exactly.
So, and when I think introduction, I don't think introduction to the streaming service. I was just asking. Like, it's, I've hit it every episode, so I don't know what I'm missing.
Right.
Hmm.
Not much.
So, all right. So, as is customary, I'll ask final thoughts before we move along. Doug?
I liked it. I think it was it was a decent introduction of Thrawn. Like I said, I think seeing the Chimera first was like more impactful.
Oh, sure.
Us seeing Ezra in live action for the first time was probably just as big of a deal to me. And this actor is, like you said, he's killing it. I really can't wait to see what comes next. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be good, and I'm actually really excited after our conversation we've had here tonight to see just what road this goes down, because I kind of get the feeling now that this could have the potential to just blow up the myth of the Force. So, yeah, there we go.
Or what we thought Mortis meant.
Right.
All right, Hunter.
Same deal. I think this episode was very rushed, and I wish it was longer. Like an hour longer would be nice. But I do think just overall the show focuses on things that to me don't seem that meaningful for too long. Like Sabine messing with the Howler for that long, I feel like took up a lot of the episode when there was so much crazier stuff happening. But that's just my thing. I am very much excited for next episode, though. I'm hoping to see more mystical stuff start happening. I like the whole Night Sister stuff. And yeah, Ezra didn't like. I like seeing him, but it was more so we saw Thrawn, so now we have to see Ezra. So it didn't like surprise me as much, but just oh man, a lot to look forward to, I guess.
So, I hate to do this in my final thought, but I'm going to contradict you a little bit, just because you said that. I thought the Sabine messing with the Howler and stuff like that was one of the things that actually grounded this episode for me, because it felt like it actually disrupted the ridiculous pace they were going, and gave us a little bit of comedy and humor and things like that. So I actually kind of like that stuff. But my actual final thoughts, I'm with Doug. Like, I kind of wish Thrawn would have hit me a little harder. It did at first, but then Balin and Ezra stole the show for me. It was really weird because I was looking forward to Thrawn more than anything else in the world when it came to this series, when they gave us that little teaser. But he actually had the show taken from him. I'm excited to see where it goes, because there was a lot of really good teasers to what Thrawn could bring to this. So it's still exciting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more of it. This show is just killing it for me. I love it. It's I think I'll steal Hunter's off mic comments to me. It's everything I could have asked for and more. So I can't believe I'm saying that in the Disney era. But if you have anything to add to the conversation, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media at The Wars and More on Twitter, now X, Facebook.com/The Wars and More. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. And we'll be back next week.